something I was trying to remember to bring up on the pod this week. It was something specific that I'd taken note of.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't help you. It's not like, we haven't missed any episodes or anything.
No, I mean, no, we don't miss episodes ever, do we? No,
We haven't
just
missed an
carry
episode
on.
yet. And if
One week at a time here for us.
And if we did miss an episode, we just wouldn't acknowledge it.
Nah.
Like, we wouldn't even mention it. Because,
You just roll straight into the next episode.
You just go through. You keep moving forward. You don't stop to be like, oh, sorry. No, you say, damn you, and you keep stepping on toes.
Yeah, and we didn't miss episodes because Essendon won or anything.
No, never.
Yeah.
No, well, it took a while to get together around and back.
Yeah, and all that.
It did.
But no, I won't mention that we missed a week or anything.
No,
we just carry on.
Yeah.
Just 1 week at a time and all for footy.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't mention it all. What's up, everybody, and welcome to All for Footy, the AFL podcast where good friends gather and gab about this week's games, last week's games, this week's games, and everything in between. I'm your host, Nathan, Mr. 9 out of 9 Norman, joined, as always, by the second best podcaster in the world, Daniel, the Big Daddy Reeby. How are we, sir?
Mr. 9 out of 9. I'm well-travelled, my fairly feathered friend, and good to see the razor blade hasn't attacked you in the recent week that I haven't seen you. But what a time it's been with the Adelaide venture and trying to navigate, your way around Adelaide up to the Barossa and back, and then trying to get back in time for that Port Adelaide Hawthorn game, and just made it back in time for the show tonight. It's been one hell of an adventure, but primed to be here with the boys, and how are we?
Yeah, doing good, good.
How have you been? How was your weekend? I didn't see you over there.
Hey, look, I'll tell you about my weekend after I introduce the Greek god, Steelo, the Man of Steel. How are we, sir?
Boom, boom.
Oh, very well, thanks, mate.
Oh,
Yeah, stoked, mate. The Lions keep on charging, so why wouldn't I be? Hey? I'll run to Adelaide if I have to see another win. So, unfortunately, I missed the match the other week because I was playing my own footy, and so it was good to be able to get away to Adelaide to actually catch a win this week.
So, how many weeks do you reckon it would take you to run to Adelaide?
Oh, mate, probably if I was like Daniel Reeby's younger brother, Mr. Paddy Reeby, the great man, the Iron Man.
You'd never do it, yeah.
I'll do it in like 3 days.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, well, you're a Greek god, so we do understand.
3 days straight or 3 days with a couple of breaks?
Oh, mate. Paddy will
3 days in one effort.
a few breaks. I think you take a couple breaks.
That'd be walking pace.
Yeah, gotta have a good 8 hours sleep, maybe unwind at the end of each day and just relax and chill on the couch or something, like in between.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. I might have underrated the great man. I've been hearing that he's doing a lot of swimming recently, so...
Oh, shout out to Paddy. I mean, he's training the house down, absolutely doing Ks on the bike at night, running... just numerous kilometres in one session, and also swimming up to a couple of kilometres in a session. So he's training very hard, and he's all in preparation for the Ironman in Cairns this year, which last year he did in just under 12 hours, and I'm sure this year he's going to try and do in under maybe 11 hours, or don't know what his target actually is, but I'm sure he'll smash last year's time due to all his hard training he's been doing this year, and pretty dedicated.
Nice of him. Yeah, it'd be nice if it matches up with our footy trip up in Cairns this year for the Kangas. So
it'll be a bit early. I think it's in mid-June, so it's a bit early for that. Shout out to Snapper, though, up in Cairns.
Well, try and get him on the pod one day, this Patrick Reeby.
We should, actually. He's really keen to get on a Monday with us. He
hasn't been on since we went to video, and that was like 3 years ago.
He's a bit behind the times with his technology, and he's trying
tips.
He came over here today, and I saw him browsing through all the stuff just to try and work out what he needed to get, if he could get his set up together. But he does say that he has time on a Monday, and he goes, maybe I could pop in for an episode. And I said, well, you're going to have to ask Mr. 9 out of 9. But
absolutely. I can accommodate that for sure. But
maybe he could maybe he could ask you on our comments page via our Facebook page or our YouTube page.
Yeah, maybe you can comment on this video. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that'll be nice. But, same problem with another potential host we've been blocking for a while. He is just another St Kilda supporter. And we've got one of those.
Yeah, we can't have two.
So, it's we'll talk about it. Anyway, all right, I think that's enough banter for the beginning of the episode. Let's get into last week's game, shall we, boys?
We shall. Look forward to this. It was what a round.
I feel like footy's been back.
Taking me back.
Back in a big way all year this year. It's been very nice. I've been really enjoying it, except for my own team. But yeah, all right. Well, Thursday night football at Adelaide Oval. It was Adelaide versus Geelong. Adelaide 15-10, 100 to Geelong 18-11, 119. Reeby. Geelong putting their foot down.
Geelong just doing Geelong, isn't it? I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, I tipped Adelaide, really thinking that at home they'll really play well, and I mean they played well. I think they just got overrun by a team that went even harder for longer. I mean, in the end, Geelong bullied them out of it, but Geelong were down by maybe up to 29 points, I recall, there in the third quarter, and they just in the second quarter was it? Yeah, and they were down early in the game and never stressed and got right back into it, and in the end, to go out fairly comfortable winners. I mean, Paddy Dangerfield, he's just electric, and he goes into the middle for little bursts now, but apart from that, throw him forward, and he's kicking 4 goals here and there, and the man's just magical at the moment, and what can't he do? And Geelong, I called it at the start of the year that I feel like one of Collingwood or Geelong are going to make the grand final because they're just so experienced and they've been around the mark, and both teams missed the 8 after winning the grand finals the seasons before. And I just feel like both clubs traditionally do, bounce into little premiership windows after having a premiership. So, yeah, watch out for the Caddies there. That was a big win for them. Cameron not really going too well at the moment, but again, just doing enough to just kick a goal or two. Yeah, he's doing enough, but he's not even firing. And it's and Zach Guthrie to me as well is just another one for the Cats that's just really stepped up and replaced the role that Stewart was doing when he started getting heavily tagged. And they just keep filling every position with absolute A graders at the moment, Geelong. So hats off to them, and they're going well. But Steelo, why don't you give us a little Adelaide samosa?
You backed Geelong, didn't you, Steelo?
Yeah, well, that's it. I was all over Geelong after
you tried to tell me. You tried to tell me.
Me and Doctor were having a good conversation about it, and originally I think I went with Adelaide, but we couldn't really split them. But
I talked to Geelong.
Yeah, Doctor said that he just can't see Geelong losing it, and they're just such a well-structured team. They just always seem to find a way, and nothing surprises them. So that's the thing. Like, they're never surprised. They always have plans for the opposition, and they're rarely made a fool of. So they've proved again that they can get it done, and they're just looking more and more like a force, and only just getting all their cavalry in the right places. So if they gel even more throughout the year, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, they are looking dangerous. I'll give you that. But yeah, like
cavalry, the right word in the
two goal scorers kicking 4 each. Like, Jesus Christ, like, goddamn Geelong.
Yeah, Dangerfield just looking like a real headline forward, trademark forward at the moment. So
these guys should be retired. They're old enough. They've done enough.
Cool.
That wasn't a sweet
contest so hard.
The crowd were into him too for a bit, being an old South Australian when they were up.
Yeah.
And he really enjoyed that win, I reckon, on his old home ground there against the old Melbourne.
He's going to be on crutches in 10 years, I reckon.
Crutches?
Oh, hopefully not.
He goes that hard.
The bloke's fit as fiddle. He's a waterman. He's fit. He just stays healthy, and I reckon at the moment he's just doing it easy. It doesn't seem to actually have too much deterrent, does he? Most blokes have those niggles that they sort of look after a bit. He's going 100% full tilt, consistently still looking like about a 26-year-old. Like, he's incredible. So
yeah, that's right, Steele. I think about that.
He's really strong too. I've heard I can't remember who it was, but someone was rating him as saying how strong he was in the contest, and he's one of the few players, like up there with a few other players, obviously, that you just cannot move him and once he's in possession of the ball, he's too strong. So what a marvel!
Oh, fair enough.
Big heavy unit.
And he's stepping down as the Players Association leader at the end of the year. So I feel like he's timed everything beautifully here. You know, he's ended up with his
for a flag.
He's going to get out of having the role with the Players Association and all that. He's going to get to retire in a little bit, and he'll have plenty of time to be surfing and fishing old Paddy. So
this match, though, just quickly, this match was on the Thursday night, and just finished up at training for the Kangas. And shout outs to a new listener. We got Kaffa. He played, you know, his last name is Italian, so, you know, it's not a racial slur. It's an Italian name. And, yeah, he's a new listener, and his mama made the chicken schnitzels for everyone.
Oh,
and they were absolutely delicious.
Could be my new favourite player, the Kangas.
They only got asked for 30, and lucky, because I was last out. I was out there kicking goals, you know, doing my goal kicking practice. I came in and I was like the very last person to get my meal. And she's like, "Oh, mate, you only told me 30. Lucky I cooked 30. Hey. And there was an extra 1 or 2 for us." So
hey, thank you for that story about Schnitzel, bro. All right, let's move on to the next.
We got a new cook in the house.
Let's go.
The boys are going to be thriving, mate, on the new meals.
Yeah,
so look out.
Cool, let's go, Schnitzel. Let's move on to the next game, shall we?
Mate, just because you missed out on Schnitzel night, you sound filthy.
Shut up.
Chips and salad.
Can we move on to the next fucking game already? All right.
You might come to training next week, yeah.
No, I'm not. I might go to the next game this week. Mate. That's where I might go. All right.
Lovely Italian food.
Lovely Italian food at the next game I'm reading right now. Collingwood versus Sydney at the Adelaide Oval. Collingwood, 16-13, 109 to Sydney, 12-6, 78. Collingwood with a decisive victory, Steelo?
Collingwood, mate, getting it done again, huh?
Yep, they did. A lot of people really don't like Dacos. Yeah. Nick Dacos.
Yeah, bro, I think that was the difference in the end, man. The Dacos brothers, to be honest, you know, man, just not enough. I mean, a lot does get said about them.
I think it's clear there's a better one.
I think they're just improving all the time, and it's an edge that Collingwood have, because you know what you're getting with all their experienced players. But yeah, those youngsters, like pretty much Nick Dacos just keeps on just gunning it and improving his game.
He's like big wheels.
I mean, credit to all their players though.
Especially together, big wheels.
You know, Fly's got them going as well. He's got the structure really nice at the moment. So I don't know. What do you guys make of it?
Well, I'm super impressed by Collingwood. Again, like Geelong, you know, you did ask if they're a bit old at the start of the year and those sort of question marks, but they just look so well structured. And I saw them breaking down some vision where they were showing that even Sydney won the inside 50s on the day by 1, and Collingwood still really just hammered them in the end on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah.
But they were doing damage where Sydney were trying to have an out number throughout the game to stem the damage. Collingwood were going into contest undernumbered and still winning contest. You know, 2-3,
impressive. Very impressive.
4-3 down a number. So, you know, it doesn't matter for Collingwood at the moment. I think it's just their determination when they've got a few blokes around the ball to work for each other and do the simple things. Yeah, it's really shining through right now, and geez, they're playing good footy. But does it hold up all year? That's what we'll definitely find out as the year wears on. But also Membry, another one for me, who, you know, he's just chipping in down there with their makeshift forward line with the other big fella. I'm very blank on his name right now, but the big fella, number 41, my check.
Yep.
And the 3 M's down there.
And obviously number 5. I mean, isn't he just a loose?
Yeah. He was subbed. He was subbed, and he still kicked 3-2.
And then you rattle off guys like DeGoey, who's out of the team this week, and
it's tactical.
They're just stacked with goal kickers. You know, real goal kickers, blokes that can really kick 4 to 5 in a game here and there, and that's where they're dangerous, I think, Collingwood, because they've got the mids too. So
Memory 1 goal 2.
He copped a lot of flack through the week on Reddit. I've seen a lot of Collingwood fans giving him some slack, for being too slow.
Yep.
But his experience just shines, and he creates a lot of space on the field, and he knows what he's doing. He drags his opponent out of contests, and when he's at the ball, he impacts.
No, fair enough. Well, yeah,
what he brings.
All right, well, let's move on to the next game, shall we? That's more than enough on that one. Collingwood decisive victory, looking good. I'm not gonna say. All right, next game. North Melbourne versus Gold Coast at Barossa Park, Lyndoch. North Melbourne 13-11-89 to Gold Coast 21-15 141. Gold Coast by 52 points. Raby, if Gold Coast beats North by 52 points and North beats Melbourne by like 6 goals, how terrible is Melbourne?
Well, we shouldn't get into how terrible Melbourne is just yet. We could save that for a game or two, but I think on the other hand, Gold Coast, I mean, let's not waste as much time on this game as we did on the last game, because there's a clear opposite ends of the ladder going at it. North are starting to prove that they're probably going to be in the bottom 4 this year. I mean, they might be at the top of the bottom 4 and show a little bit of push, but they just keep getting bowled over by sort of 40 to 50 plus points already early in the year, and that's not a good sign. And again, on the weekend, I mean, Gold Coast just did what they wanted to them, and hats off to Gold Coast for being second on the ladder. I mean, to look at the ladder and see Brisbane, Gold Coast.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, hats off to Queensland Footy, and it wasn't that long ago. I remember the conversations when both teams were down on the ladder and they were going, geez, haven't we got issues in Queensland with footy? And it's turned around. It's taken a while. It's taken a while. That was a while ago. Let's not forget. But it's really spun around in aces, and maybe one day they'll give the Saints a little hand out.
We've been in
the competition for a long time too.
Hey mate, the Q Clash is building. It's going to be a huge one this year.
Battle for the Q Bridge.
Took Miller and Dane Zorko as well. They're both some of the apparently in the top 5 players of the comp at the moment. So
hey, let's not turn this into the Brizzy bit. But Gold Coast on the weekend, just insane again. Just doing it the way they do it at the moment. And
yeah, pretty.
The injection of Flanders to me, it's just topped him off. I mean, he was missing patches of footy late last year, and since he's come in, he's in the top 5 players in the comp for almost all round, and very underrated, and he's really starting to get his kudos now, and with Rowell and the way King's doing it week in, week out at the moment, and yeah, I just really feel like they're on to an absolute winner. And Long, I mean, he's another one for me that's just shining playing for the Gold Coast, and Dimmer's using him well. And aren't they just, they're really looking good. Like, they're finally looking really good, Gold Coast.
I like Ben Long.
And you probably put the expectation on them this year that you got to make finals. I don't think it's...
No, they will.
Let's hope they make finals and that. Within their walls, if they miss this year, it's a bloody... I was going to say the big F word then for some reason, but I've really refrained. But we could get stuck into the P words, couldn't we, Stillo? The 3 Ps. Parachutes, pants, Parker.
Well, he has nothing to do with this, but...
Properly prepared.
Anyway, I wanted to mention, before we move on, the Better King.
Okay.
You didn't even mention the Better King. 5 goals off of 6 touches.
Oh, yeah.
5 goals.
Play very well.
5 goals from 5
I'll
kicks.
give kudos to the conversation that he's the Better King at the moment. Yes, he's definitely overtaken old brother there.
Yep, for sure.
Don't know who's older. Is there actually an older by a few minutes?
I think Max is older. I'd say so.
Older.
But I could be totally wrong. I'm sure Wheels will let us know in the chat tomorrow. Something. Well, yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next game. Saturday football at Adelaide Oval. Carlton versus West Coast. Carlton 17-19, 121 to West Coast 6-14-50. We don't need to spend too much time on this one. Steelo, Carlton just got a much-needed slaughter.
That's it, at least. Carlton got this win. They've kept the team alive. Otherwise, there would have been riots down on Logon Street. So
I wish there was.
At least they've got this one. Vossi's got something. he's at least got something to talk back to the paparazzi and all that. So it wasn't the prettiest game of all time, but they ran away with it. They were in control most of the match, and kept West Coast only 50 points. So hopefully they can get a bit of momentum from this one and keep it going next week.
Yeah, 70 points, just nice 71-point victory. Reeves.
Oh, I saw it exactly the same. I mean, I was following on Carlton to get on over the line. I really just backed them in to really flog them, and they did that. Yeah. What a way to salute your first win of the year against the proudest club and almost in the recent AFL history with 4 premierships in modern time.
Yeah.
The West Coast Eagles. I mean, so Carlton on their path now, as the supporters believe, after that victory. They got North this week. Yeah. No, I've heard them. They go, we got North, we'll get back-to-back, we'll get some momentum, we'll get a few more players back. And then they're still going to finish about 12th. And so, yeah.
Won't even make the 8.
Be great to watch Carlton just demise for the rest of the year. But, hats off to them for finally a solid day.
Yeah, cool. All right. Let's move on to the next game. Western Bulldogs versus Brisbane, Saturday afternoon football at Norwood Oval. It was Western Bulldogs 14-13-97 to the Brisbane Lions 18-10-118. Brisbane Lions by 21 points. How'd Rick take this one, Mr. Steeler?
Comeback Kings. He was all right about it. He was all right because we were partying on Saturday night. So, he was up and about still, but Sunday morning it would have been feeling pretty rough, I reckon.
Do you mean irate or all right? Or do you mean irate?
Well, he was all right with it, but on Sunday morning he would have been real irate.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair.
Definitely. If I was feeling pretty bad, then he would have been putrid.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's your time to gush. To gush about the Brisbane Lions Football Club.
What's it? The comeback Kings. They've done it again. Dane Zorko just lighting it up, just taking off the big 45 kicks and just straight down the guts a lot of the time from fullback. And I think his average kick was about 50 metres that night, and just biting them off just over the top of defenders. And just really set the team up. And he really does. He only touched the ball one time for the first half, and then just caught fire like Superman. And he was just flying at every contest. I wish he would probably put his hands out to the ball a bit more because he was trying to chest mark everything like rugby style. But when you're about 6 foot 10, you can get away with that. But
didn't he just fire in the second half? And you needed that out of him to just show that with Danaher going, that you really need that new focal point up forward to be reliable. And to drag his from 39 points down.
I just hope he can do it more often because he does. He's been known to do that at least once a season. But it would be nice to see it at least 4 times a season. Good. But it was good from him. It was very good. Nice to know what he's capable of in a half of footy. But the match was crazy. It was a real good contest, and the Doggies were getting away with it for the first period. Like the second half, the Lions started to come back, and we pretty much ran away with it. The Doggies just couldn't put out a fire, and the Lions got roaring. Lockie Neal, Josh Dunkley, Zach Bailey, even Charlie Cameron had a pretty decent game, but he's got the yips.
0 goals
at the moment.
0 goals. I had him for 2 or more goals, and he let me down. Never again.
Yeah, he's got the bad yips in front of goal. So, to be fair, I wouldn't mind seeing him go down and just play in the twos for a little bit, just to fire him up a bit.
Yeah, kill his ego a bit.
He does everything right except for kick the goals at the moment. So, drop him down for a bit. But Sam Day, I've got to talk about it.
Oh, God,
it's a bit of a failed experiment. Bit of a failed experiment at the moment. What are we going to do? I think we've just got to drop him straight away as well. Especially if Hipwood can play like that. Sam Day, he's just not offering that much. I know he gets to some contests. He's a big man, but
he's all right.
I'd almost rather see Darcy Fort back in the squad. and play true ruckman, give a big a chop out, you know.
I'm sure you'd love to see that. I'm sure you would.
Because Darcy Forty's around the club a lot. Like, I saw him there with all the boys on the weekend. He was listening in to the halftime speeches, you know, getting around the boys, telling them what's what. So
he'll get his time.
Get him back in.
Get him in there. All right, Rabes, you got anything to add?
Super win.
No. Yeah, I mean, it blew me off a bit. I thought the Dogs got off to such a steamer. I just thought, oh shit, it's going to cost me the tip. And then, the Dogs, I mean, but once they got that comeback coming as well, you just sort of knew that momentum was with Brizzy, and they just steamrolled it out of the middle there, all into the last quarter, and looked unstoppable. So it's sort of weird when they haven't put a full game together yet this year, and they're sitting 5 and is it 5 and zip now or 4 and zip?
It's 5 now.
No, I don't think
5.
Neither of these teams are zip.
No, Brizzy hasn't lost, have they?
Oh, yeah, no, they have.
No, they haven't lost.
Yeah,
thought you were going the other way.
But and so interesting this week coming up against Collingwood, who are 4 in a row, who lost their first game obviously to the Giants, but now they're on a run and Brizzy undefeated. So this game this week will be mammoth after that form from Brizzy. Yeah, what a win, mate! Great win. I'm sure you were beside yourself, dancing on the table next to Mr. Parker on Saturday night.
100%.
His parachute pants on his head.
Parachute pants back up, placing his pizzas properly.
Parachute pants, pizzas placing properly.
I bought all the boys pizzas actually on Saturday night, so yeah, get around me.
No, you didn't buy me pizzas, so I'm not getting around shit. Alright, let's move on to the next game, shall we? Sunday football at Barossa Park. It was Richmond versus Fremantle. Richmond 7-5-47. Fremantle 16-12, 108. Wow, Fremantle really toweling up Richmond real good, don't you reckon, Reeves?
Oh, yeah, I mean, for the first half there, you're really just thinking, geez, Richmond are looking all right here, although Freo were a bit scrappy. But I'm pretty sure it's a 10-point lead there at halftime, and it just, just had the makings of Freo running away with it a bit, and boy, did they run away with it.
I mean, happen, yeah.
Yeah, it looked a little easy, but again, that's what the Saints had done the week before. We kicked 14 goals in the second half, so, probably did it a little better than Freo's, but still hats off to Freo for just ground and pounding them in the second half after just sort of jostling. I think that's what a lot of teams will probably take the model on this year against Richmond, like, just take the energy out of them for a half, don't let them be on top or wear you down or get silly injuries and that, and knowing that you're going to outrun them, outgun them in the second half, and it seemed like a pretty routine victory in the end for Freo. But good on them. Like they're hit 2 wins in a row now, and that's all you can do is just sort of chalk up a few wins early in the year and get some momentum. And
they'll probably get another one next week, I'd say. It's up against the D's.
Hey, we'll see.
Is it the D's from? Ooh.
Let's not look into the future just yet, Steelo. All right. But yeah, Steelo, you got anything to add?
I mean, they're actually just in the 8th too. I mean, they're sitting in 8th right now, and from the start of the year they had, where there was a few question marks about how they were going, that does surprise me. I mean, I didn't realise they'd had the 3 victories, so I thought they'd had the 2. But hats off to Freo, just sliding along under the radar a little. A lot of people had them very highly touted this year, and they're just sitting in the middle of the field at the moment, just teetering along. But there's still plenty of question marks there for me when it really comes whips cracking and they're playing a Brisbane / Giants in a final. I just see them being undermanned a little.
It'll be good to be able to see them get a bit of form against these lower squads and then see if they can bring it forward to the tougher matches.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't really have much to say about that. Fremantle just stomping the hell out of Richmond. Good times. Such a Richmond. All right, next game. Sunday football at Norwood Oval is St Kilda versus GWS. St Kilda 12-10, 82 to GWS 16-14, 110. GWS by 28 points. Daniel, you would have been upset with this one.
I was having a great time because I went down to the Rosebud Country Club yesterday with Gibber and Z and one Darren Williams. And, mate, we had a great game. I managed to kick their asses and beat them by the next closest to me. I beat by like 10 shots. So
good
yeah, I
stuff.
really smashed them, and played well myself, and that was going really well. But I did have the radio on and tuned in, and so I wasn't that upset by it. But then it was good to hear the last quarter we made a fair comeback, and yeah, geez, I just didn't expect that. I really thought maybe we'd hang right in there and have a tight battle with them. It was tight early, and then I did listen to one little patch on, because I had the radio going all day, just on the thing quietly, and when we're walking on, I'd turn it up a bit and then turn it down. And Giants kicked 4 goals in 5 minutes, somewhere there in the second quarter. And after that, we never got within 4 goals in the game again. And so they're just so dynamic, the Giants, and they just have players all over the park at the moment that just, they don't mess around, do they? I mean, they're very good.
They swapped Hogan to the back line for a lot of the game, for a lot of the second half.
I heard he missed a few. What was his total?
His total was 2 goals straight.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
shit. I thought maybe he kicked a couple on the full or something.
I had him down for 3, and then I saw him in the back line all last quarter. Last half, essentially. I'm sort of like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
So they're taking the Mickey.
But Toby Green, 5 goals. Like, Jesus.
Nah, so look, big win for them. But I did think they'd go for the jugular and maybe try and really send a message and keep percentage and all that. And they, not to say put the brakes on, but the Saints just got some easier goals in the last quarter and kept face a little there with a 28-point loss, where I feel like we deserved to say we lost by a solid 5 or 6 goals on the day.
Yeah, you got to.
But, I won't write a lot into it. I mean, we travelled up there and we've been in Adelaide away from home all week. The boys stayed in Adelaide, and let me tell you, there was some room parties. I mean, can they order Uber Eats at 1 a.m. and all this sort of stuff's been going on. And I won't actually go into half the stories because they probably wouldn't want me to rage too much.
Please don't. We don't need that heat at the All Footy
podcast. In the end, probably not the best for preparing for an AFL game. I mean, the best excuse I can come up with.
Well, I want to add Wagadi Malera's best game. Go ahead. He did really well, the kid. So
we just love him at Moorabbin. We love him.
Yeah, 3 goals, 24 disposals. Like he really had a day out. So good for him. Hopefully he gets a few more.
And let me tell you, he was good on and off the field in gather round. They all gathered around him at points, and they had numerous of good times.
All right, Steelo, you got anything else to add?
Nah, good on the Saints. They put in a decent effort at least. So that's all you wanted to see from the boys. Didn't expect them to beat the Giants. So they got a lot of options up there. The Giants, they're looking like a strong squad. They'll definitely be top 6. So
yeah, but Saints doing better than I thought they would.
Make the 8. They're looking strong at this point in time. So keep going, Saints.
Yeah,
hold on to your feet.
They're looking all right. I don't see them doing too badly this year. Maybe not making the 8, but maybe they will.
I reckon we'll make it. I reckon we're Smokey for
You're
the
biased.
8. Like,
Smokey, definitely. Smokey for the 8, absolutely.
No, but not a biased, as in there's probably a handful of teams I'm already lining out, but I've got Saints in that bunch of probably down to 12 to 10 teams.
Well, we'll see how their form goes for the
Let's call it more 10. There's only 8 teams left. Saints are one of them.
Oh, there you go.
Everyone else is done.
All right, well, let's move on to the last game of the round. It is Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn at Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide, 18-13, 121. Hawthorn, 14-7, 91 in a thumping upset. Steelo, what you think about this one?
Oh, caught me by surprise.
Absolutely.
Far out. I didn't know Port had it in them.
So your only tip you got wrong this week.
Oh,
mate.
I mean, you're never going to tip.
They definitely brought everything they had. They got their aggression back in their game. That Port Adelaide tradition. And, they went hard. And far out, man. It was good to see Rosie back, just doing what he does.
Yeah. Do you think that was the ingredient they were missing?
I think it has to be. It must have been. He just looked so dynamic. And he'd pop up down forward and kick a goal for him as well after playing on the half-back line. So it's just awesome to see.
Yeah,
but
it was.
I really thought Hawthorn were going to win this one, but I've heard they got a bit ahead of themselves down there.
Maybe they're getting a bit of a big head too soon. It's like, hang on, guys, you need to show up at September 1st. But
Definitely, I've heard they got a bit carried away. I'm pretty sure Doctor knows a bit more about it.
they need to focus. Doctor, what do you know about it?
Oh, wow. I mean, Hawks probably got BOG for the whole thing as a club for performance off field, let's say. I mean, they had 16-day break in between games here, and it's a long time to be gathered in Adelaide during a festival of period time, where there's a lot happening of wineries and golf courses and
Absolutely.
yes, many distractions. And let's just say that some of the Hawks players did enjoy the festivities very much, and then had to make their way to the game upon being reminded. So they probably also just weren't in the best shape to be playing a game, but they won't use as an excuse. But I reckon once they get home and they freshen up for a new game, they'll be right. They're still going very well, the Hawks. But wasn't it an off night by them? It sort of shocked me that first half.
Yeah.
Second half was pretty normal. Everything looked pretty normal there. But
yeah, but first and second quarter just really took it away. Gosh darn.
They got the C word back in them.
I think Port had that
Coach had it
covered.
work for them,
There's a bit of a perfect storm where they had the bug of their performance the last few weeks, but also that hype of the way it all went down last year, and that the Premier decided that, well, this is going to be the game that we showcase the end of Gather Round with, and it was made a big deal of, and they had to wait all week for it, and there's only one way to go out when you're out, is you just go down swinging. And guys like Butters and that, they didn't need much provoking once the Hawks were down a bit and they were getting a bit niggly. They were just chipping in and just keeping the fire steaming, and I think they enjoyed every minute of it on the weekend. Port Adelaide, they just needed that. They needed a kill.
There were some big moments by your man Nathan, Mr. Bell Pepper.
Oh, the Bell Pepper.
Big moments.
Jeez,
well, he was looking a bit lazy. He was looking a bit sluggish these past few weeks, so I'm glad he stepped up.
How's that goal? And there was a little hint of Hawthorn coming back there towards the end when Bruce had kicked about his 34th goal. And, or was it Gunston who kicked a bucket of goals there?
I don't know who you're talking about.
And then Power Pepper kicked that one, didn't he? With about
Gunston kicked 6.
Yeah, Gunston, he was on fire.
Just a huge win for him down there in Adelaide, though.
Yeah, no,
massive. At least one of the Adelaide teams got up.
Can anyone tell me what that thing was they were all carrying on about with their arms going out? There was some. They were all impersonating some ad or some reference during the week that was like
aeroplane jelly, mate.
Mate, maybe it was Minecraft. Maybe it was Zombie Chicken Jockey.
I don't know. They mentioned it on the coverage for 1 second, but I didn't hear what they said. Where they were mocking some ad, or they had some joke running where they all go like this and go, hey!
Well,
but I didn't catch the reference for what it was for. So if anyone knows out there, feel free to let us know on our Facebook page or our YouTube, Rumble, or Spotify.
Please.
You can like us on there too, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, do all the good stuff. But yeah, please tell us what they were doing. We got no idea.
Maybe they were just calling them soft aeroplane jelly. I mean, you might be right.
Maybe.
Still, I don't know. And it was funny that all the crowd was into it. Like thousands of people were all doing it at the end. They were doing it to the coach, Sammy Mitchell, as he's walking off. They're all like, hey.
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad they had a fun time.
They did.
Yes, they did.
They set off fireworks after the game. They were that happy with the win, Port Adelaide.
Okay, all right. That's overdoing it a bit.
Just a round 5 victory, and they're setting off bloody fireworks.
Hey, wouldn't you? Wasn't there one of their first big... No, they've gotten 2 wins now this year, haven't they?
Well, true. Let's celebrate with fireworks.
Just gather around, mate. Gather around. They're so pumped for it.
Maybe it was for that.
Yeah, they're very excited for gather round, I feel like. That's probably it. Yeah.
Could have been that,
Makes sense.
Oh, well, fair enough then. If they have fireworks next week, though, after a loss, now I know something's up.
Absolutely.
Someone's letting off fireworks dodgy in South Australia.
All right, well, with that, let's move on. Port Adelaide upset was really good, so let's move on to the tipping results. All right, in the footy tipping comp this week, got a shout out, getting 8 out of 9 on an island by himself. The Greek god, Steelo.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Did it 8 out of 9. Highest
Mate,
score. A lot of people got
It's the
7.
last match of the round.
Yeah, the
last match of the round 2 weeks in a row now.
Crushing.
It's caught me off guard. But, I'm coming for the perfect round. I want my free Palmer.
Yeah, a lot of people got 7 this week. I got a 6. Raby, you got a 4.
I had a bad week.
You had a bad week. You've had a number of bad weeks. You should feel very, very worried, I'd say.
Started off with the first 2 wrong as well, and that just set the tone, and then ending with the last 2 as well, and just a lot of issues in headquarters at my tipping region at the moment.
Well, when you're Mavericks like me and you don't just tip the favourites. You don't just look at the odds and go, "Yep, that's who I'm tipping."
I'm thinking of coming around
doesn't
a
do
bit.
that either. But
You can't shake the Maverick tag when you have it, can you?
no, you just when you're a free thinker, when you're not one of the sheep that just goes along with the
Ride or
crowd.
die. Real ride or die stuff. Usually get one and miss one. So eventually it'll click. But I've definitely been hunting it down. I've been very close so far.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to continue my form. So better bring your A game if you want to catch me, boys.
Well, look, I just want to read out the top
Ladies and
5 of the tipping comp right now, and I just want to add very predictable games of football this year. So all 5 of these people tipping the favourites. Number 5, you got the missile Mickey Broad. Number 4, Jim Bob Parker. Number 3, you got running late Luke Brennan.
Mickey B.
And number 2, Steelo.
This guy.
Got to have someone on there from the pod.
And then, on the tippy top spot, the Mr. I tip favourites all the frickin' time, Ryan.
Big wheel. Keep on turning.
He's on top. He's on top. But only by margin. Steelo's right there with him.
Is that Balin? That's Balin's uncle, right? Isn't it? We
I think
confirmed
so.
that a few weeks ago.
That's Balin's uncle. Balin not in the tipping comp, though, so we don't talk about it.
Yeah. But because he brought his uncle in, and then he just sort of said, "Oh,
all right, well, yeah, fair enough." All right, well, look, I'll just put out our scores while we're here, Reebs. I'm on 28, so I'm 7 behind the lead. And you're on 25, you're 10 behind the lead. I'm at number 15, you're at number 20. Above Paddy Reeby and Molian, who just tips who he wants to win.
is there.
He just tips who he wants to win. He doesn't give a shit about the results. He doesn't care.
And where is
who wins.
Mr. Parker? Where's Mr. Parker?
Oh, he's at number 17, so he's like below me as well. But there's unfortunately there's some people that have been not doing too well.
No, because I'd like to hang in that pack between myself and Mr. Parker and yourself, because last year we all ended up right at the top there, and I feel like it's like the Melbourne Cup here, and we got a lot of front runners, but we really will get in a pack, us 3, and we'll just come hunting up the outside with all those roughies that are going to win across the next 18 weeks. And
look, if it stays as
with all the
predictable as it
favourites
is,
just dropping off
Fenno's
week
a
after
shoo-in.
week. Yes, this is where it really heats up, doesn't it? We know, Nathan. We just come down the outside.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm looking to get back up in the conversation. I have not been outside like the top 3 or 4 or outside the conversation in years. This is not good. I do not like this feeling. I do not like this feeling.
Mate, I really need a pen. Come for
Soon as Melbourne's form drop off, because last year even they were winning games during the season. They've always had strong seasons, and ever since it coincides, Nathan. So there's something funny there.
Yeah. Well, look, unlucky.
Very funny.
But yeah, Fenno, congratulations, tipping all the favourites and winning the comp. Congratulations, mate.
He hasn't won the. Hey, hold on a second. Rephrase that properly.
He's winning the comp.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's winning it.
You said on winning the comp.
Yeah, he's winning the comp.
Yeah, but yes, anyway.
So he hasn't won, but he's winning the comp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just sounded like if you didn't know there was more weeks coming.
I know what you mean. I actually don't know if I said it right the first time. I'm just getting defensive.
He could edit that and audio it to sound like he'd won a competition. So yes.
Yeah, I don't think he can edit. I don't know if he has. I don't think he has that in him. He doesn't have that dog in him, so to speak.
Doesn't he have a laptop now?
Yeah, he doesn't use. He uses it, turns it on to do the podcast. That's it, and just gathers dust. You know how it is. You absolutely know how it is. You do the same thing essentially. All right. Well, with that, we'll move into this week's games.
Let's.
All right. Well, Thursday night football at the Gabba. It is Brisbane versus Collingwood. Reeves, who you got?
Oh, wow. This is going to be a tightly tussled battle with the undefeated Brizzy taking on the only one loss Pies. And I've settled on Brizzy here. I just think it's going to be a road too far for Collingwood. I mean, they're in Adelaide last week and now they're up to Brisbane and, it's going to take a toll at some point, maybe. I mean, they might prove me well wrong here because Brizzy haven't put 4 quarters together yet. So it's going to be a juicy one, isn't it? I mean, Collingwood are going to back themselves to the Hilton to get the 4 points. And, I just think Brizzy they'll step up to the challenge and they might produce the 4 quarters on the night and be a really good game of footy. It could well be, from if you listen to the early shows, the grand final rematch preview, because I did select Collingwood versus Brisbane as one of my grand finals, along with Geelong and the Giants and Hawthorn.
Ah, well, there you go. All right, well, Steelo, who have you got?
I'm getting butterflies just talking about it. I'm just hearing Dan talk about it.
Don't let him psych you out. Don't let him psych you out.
It's going to be a massive match. It is. Collingwood was confident early in the year, but we've seen that they weren't exactly all that round one.
Yeah, they've wobbled.
A little chink in the armour, but then they've come back pretty strong. And the Lions haven't really wavered. They've just shown teams a bit of a sight of it and then just closed out and just finished strong and end up winning by a couple goals each time. So, back at home, I think the Lions will get this one done. It'd be hard to tip against them. You've got to tip them by about 3 goals, I reckon, 4 goals.
Yeah, well, that's the sensible bet, I guess. But, yeah. But, look, I'm going to get on that friend train with your Steelo. Let's go. Choo-choo, Brisbane.
Let's go.
That's what I'm doing. That's where I'm going. All right, Friday night football at Marvel Stadium. It's North Melbourne versus Carlton. Good Friday clash. Friday afternoon.
Yes. Wow, it's tough here, isn't it? Because you just feel like North might have eyed this one off a little bit, thinking that maybe they're a bit of a match for Carlton, and they've had Sydney. They've had a couple of tough games, North, where they've played some bigger opposition and been blown out a little bit. But obviously on the weekend against Gold Coast again. So they'll be back at home, but you can't tip them at the moment. I mean, I've tried to give them a bit of credit early in the season, and they just keep getting blown off the park. So, But then it's hard the other way, isn't it? Where Carlton's only form line is beating West Coast, and what makes that a certainty against a young, rampaging North that are, really pushing hard for a win. So, mate, it's a real tough one, I reckon. It's going to be a good game.
Hey, North smashed Melbourne by 10 goals. They can tail up a team.
They can. That's where, they have a little bit of form. Amongst some tough losses, but against decent opposition, I feel. So I really feel like maybe this game might be more even for them.
Yeah,
but Carlton, I mean, they have to be better. They just have to be better than North, surely, just through the middle with their experience.
You'd think.
But, yes, well, this one really shapes up, and I'm just going to have to do the safety tip, which sounds weird, in North Melbourne. In Carlton.
Carlton. No, I get you. You're on the bottom. You don't want to take chances. Steelo, who you got?
No, I'm going to try and turn into a favourites tipper for the next few weeks.
See how you go.
Yeah,
let's see if it works. Back on Friday night.
All right, Steelo.
You're going to go North?
Who you got?
North Melbourne back on under the Friday night lights.
Friday afternoon. It's Good Friday.
Oh, is it afternoon?
The Good Friday match.
Okay, Good Friday. Oh, nice. Good Friday. Interesting. That mixes it up.
With the Royal Children's Hospital
there. Maybe a tiny bit less pressure in a way. I think it favours North Melbourne, yeah. Going to have to put in the early tip for North. This is a really tough one, though. It's super close. Well, I'm going to be waiting to see the matchups looking closely. But, yeah, I think North Melbourne have been building, and they are starting to gel a lot more. So I'll be comfortable tipping them at this point.
Yeah, well, look. as I keep going on about, because I can't forget, North Melbourne smashed Melbourne by 10 goals. And I've got to believe there's more to them than just getting smashed by every team, because if they get smashed by every team and then smash Melbourne, then what does that make Melbourne?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get behind North on this
hungry.
one. I think that's might be the dangerous decision, but yeah, might just get.
Oh, we got 2 here. All right, so yeah, I'm going to stay with Carlton, probably pretty comfortably.
Yeah, no, I think Carlton's going to be the main one that most people go for. I think that's the favourite tippers. So like Ryan, take note.
I just see him turning the leaf a bit. You know, they weren't playing bad footy early in the year, and they were playing in some big opposition. They copped Collingwood and the Giants, I think, and maybe just a few big sides there, although they did lose to Richmond. So
yeah, that was a big one.
This one's tough. Confidence. The more I read into this game, the more both teams look like crap.
Look, you gave your answer,
so
we're going to move on to the next game now. But of course, you can change it whenever.
Their form lines read worse and worse the more you read into them. That was more the...
No, of course. All right, well, let's move on to the next game. It is Friday night football at Optus Stadium. West Coast versus the Bombers. Reeves.
Yes, the Bombers now coming in off back-to-back victories and are really going to love their chances for a third, especially heading over west after already been on the road to Adelaide. So, I don't see why they wouldn't be right up and about. They're playing good footy now, and the skipper's just doing it for them through the middle.
Is that Merritt? Is he the skipper?
That is Merritt.
Yeah, he's looking like he looks like a gun. He really does.
He's good to see Dylan Shield. Dylan Shield hitting a bit of form as well. He was a bit down and out there for a patch, and he's really just worked his way back. I'm pretty sure he had a bit of heavy injury for a while, but it's taken a while to get that match fitness back. And the Bombers, all of a sudden, with Draper, across the field, they sort of got pretty rock solid lines, and they definitely don't look like maybe early in the year they were just an easy beat up for a minute after a few losses, but so I think they've gathered themselves all right, and they definitely look the part on the field, and they looked more than fine on the weekend, didn't they, Nathan?
Yeah, and they look like they didn't need Jake Stringer, which is good.
No, they've moved on from him quite well now. And...
quite quickly, yep, that was pretty good. I thought he was integral parts of their team. I thought he was a lot of heart behind them. No, they're fine. Don't worry about Essendon. They'll get some W's.
No, they seem to have turned a little page here at the moment. I think there's been a lot of flushing out of the scenes, and
but they were they got a lot of victories early last year as well before they fell apart. So don't forget that. All right, Steelo, who you got?
Definitely expect West Coast to give them a run for their money this week. They'll be pretty close.
Yeah, being at home.
But Essendon should be getting this done by a couple goals. But I reckon it'll be a pretty close match, and 3 goals max.
3 goals max. Ooh.
I can't believe you guys are getting behind Essendon so wholeheartedly. I'm getting behind them too, but I think it's a lot closer than what you guys have been saying. I don't think West Coast have only got one place to go, and that's up. And Essendon.
Well, Stilo said 3 goals max.
Yeah,
that's not very high.
No, well, it's still it's still a Anyway. Essendon fans have been disappointed enough by Essendon's performances against teams they should beat, and I hear about it firsthand all the time. So
Essendon has been known for going west and putting in quite a poor performance in the last couple of years. I do recall maybe only a year or two ago when West Coast were starting to be down.
Yeah,
that it was one of their few wins, Essendon. So. Maybe a bogey game, but I really just feel like that now they've had the 2 wins, they'll be a bit more focused and they'll be really ready to play a good game. And
good test.
The scarf swinging. Game.
Doesn't that take you back to '93?
Let's swing some scarves. Day.
Yeah. I was watching along at my grandma's on a little black and white TV, so mate, it was a real day to watch footy that day.
It was.
What's this? The John Westfold Cup.
This is Kevin Sheedy.
Is it the John Westfold Cup though?
No, it's the Kevin Sheedy scarf swinging match. That's all I know.
It's probably not the John Westfold Cup. Yeah, it's definitely
because he played for both teams. I assume that's what you're saying.
He was coached
for the Essendon.
Oh, John Westfold. Okay, all right. I don't remember that time. I remember Sheedy. That's it.
A lot of Essendon supporters say they don't remember that time either.
Well, there we go.
Anyway.
All right, let's move on to the next game. So I got Essendon too. Saturday football at the MCG. Melbourne versus Fremantle. Reeby.
Fremantle.
Steelo, who do you got?
I reckon.
Yeah. Fremantle.
YouTube. All aboard Fabs' friend train.
These just in the garbage. All right, next game.
Yeah, say that.
Saturday afternoon football at Adelaide Oval is Adelaide versus GWS. This should be a tight one, Reeves.
Oh, wow. Doesn't this game take you back to the prelim final, I believe it was, in 2017 when Adelaide gave the Giants a touch-up. I remember being on the Giants that night thinking that they might win. And then, actually, no, it was the first final, not the prelim final, the qualifying final. And, you know, they beat them by 10 goals. And it was a big victory that night. And, yeah, I just feel like Giants are going to want a bit of payback from that night. So they're probably going to head over there. And this could be Adelaide's third loss in a row. Believe it or not, after only a few weeks ago, everyone had them spooked very highly when they'd only beaten a lonely North Melbourne, St Kilda in round one, whose form is only mediocre, and I can't recall their other victory, but it wasn't exactly against a world beater.
Yeah, but they looked real good while doing
and
it.
And Essendon, sorry, that was the other team.
Yeah,
so they beat St Kilda, North and Essendon. Well, they did, but I'm saying they now on the end of coming up against 3 losses if they don't win this week. So, you know, yeah,
this is a home game.
No, it's just a big one for them, isn't it? But I'm not tipping them.
All right, there we go.
This week I'm going with the Giants. And they're paying $2 this week, the Giants. I just feel like that's, to me at the moment, that's bet of the week.
Geez,
you want to have a bet out there?
They're not favourites.
Responsibly, of course. I feel like in the form the Giants are showing, it doesn't matter where the game is to them. They travel well. They're probably still in South Australia having a nice week on the beach, getting a few massages and a few Slurpees down by the beachside, hiring an e-scooter and going for a
so you got
cruise in
GWS,
Arvo.
yeah?
Yeah, mate, that's what I was going to say is they'd probably be staying down there in Adelaide.
Why wouldn't you?
They'd be nice and relaxed. You know, they spent 2 weeks down there by the time they play this match. And better part of 2 weeks, and they'll just be nice and comfortable with the temperature. But I think Adelaide match up well against the Giants. They do. And Giants are going to have to find a way down back. They need some tools. And they need some extra weight down there, I think, because big boys down in Adelaide, they're going to be pushing them around and kicking the goals pretty easily. But it's going to be a shootout at the other end. GWS should be able to kick plenty of goals as well. So I'm tipping the Giants just because of the fact that they've stayed down there the week and they don't have to worry about the extra flights and they can just focus on their footy for a little bit.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to go GWS. Hogan, Stringer, Green. Just come on. That's a team. That's a team.
100%.
So they seem pretty good, don't they?
They do. They seem like they're gelling together.
It should be an awesome match to watch, though. Gather around for that one, mate.
Oh,
gather around you in a minute.
There will be people gathered around watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be a match of the round, that one, actually, just by the build-up.
All right, well.
Very close.
Next game, Saturday night football at Marvel Stadium. It is Richmond versus Gold Coast. Reeves, what you got?
Richmond versus the Gold Coast. Wow, it really just is Dimmer's dream. Is it at Etihad?
No, Marvel.
It's at, sorry, Marvel. I always forget of what year it is.
No, I know. I don't like them when they change names as well.
Now, they've put this game on almost strategically, haven't they? I mean, Dimmer's going to have to go from the media circus of gather round and all that. Now he's got another whole week of facing the questions of, do you like going to Marvel? So I feel there, and you know, traditionally Richmond didn't like going there, and he made it known. But I think this week he'll have his team there, and if they don't score 140 points on those fantastic conditions with that ball just fizzing around, it's going to be a training drill out there for the Gold Coast. You know, I think Richmond will obviously try hard again for their half that they do, and I really see this game getting quite predictable like that, where they might hang around the mark for a half, and Gold Coast will just get it on a string in the second half here, let's say, and who knows how much they could wind it out to. Let's call it probably 50 plus. Do you reckon?
May it possibly. What do you reckon, Steeler?
Yeah, looking pretty strong at the moment.
I'm going to call it 54 points. 9 goals, I'm going to call it.
Oh, there you go. Steeler, what do you call it?
I don't know if we're expecting some rain. I think we are. It's been a bit dry down here, so I'd be surprised if we saw some rain, but they've closed the roof down there at Marvel, and
possibly
be hot and muggy, just the way the Sunnies like it either way. So, I reckon the Suns will get this done pretty comfortably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any much point in talking about it. I think Gold Coast are all over it. That's it. End chapter. All right, next game. Sunday, Easter Sunday afternoon at the SCG. It is Sydney versus Port Adelaide. Reeby, who you got?
Well, this game takes you back to last year's prelim, doesn't it? Where Port, facing the music against Hawthorn and all the adversity, actually got it done. Wherein again this week you didn't think Port were going to win, and they got it done. And now they got to travel to Sydney and face Sydney, exactly like last year's prelim. So it's quite amazing the way the fixture pans out. But yes, this game, oh mate, I was sort of having a close look, and I just feel like Port will get them this year. I think they're going to want redemption for that loss in the prelim last year. I mean, they looked very good against Hawthorn there, and once they got their thing going, I think Butters has really fixed them up here, and they're able just to spread the load a bit more, and he gets through half back a bit more, and the way they've just pushed him back, and so Port, to me, they just look a little more well balanced now, and I reckon they'll knock off Sydney, who to me are just stumbling a bit, and they're not getting the performance. I mean, Kingy called this at the start of the year in his high analyst lab. He said last year they had world record numbers from 3 blokes, and he goes, to do that again with 2 of those blokes not even playing this year is going to be very hard to replicate. Hence how they had a 12 and zip start to the year, or maybe 12 and 1 or 12 and 2 with that loss to Richmond early in the year. But I just reckon that at the moment they're caught right up to the field, and they maybe were relying on a couple, and now the depth is very quickly being tested, and it's not there, and they're they've only got a couple of real consistent performers at the moment in Heaney and Warner, and it seems to be about it, and it's not, the forwards aren't firing at all, and their backs have been flipped around trying to get McCartan to go back and forward, and
that's hard to disagree with,
and they're just the little question marks that other opposition teams will just be honing in on when they play them. So I reckon Port rip them apart.
All right, Port for the win. Steelo, who you got?
Port have been notoriously hard for me to tip this year, as everyone knows, but
everybody's been following your tips, mate.
I think they play so well on a small ground; it suits them heaps, and obviously coming up against Sydney, it's their home deck, so it's gonna be a good duel. There's gonna be a lot of strong contests, and the spine players are gonna be getting a lot of use, I reckon, this match. So I think Port Adelaide, for me, they have a bit of a stronger spine. And hopefully Ollie Lloyd can play a big match, and definitely if they can replicate what they did in the midfield and not cross half back again, the power, then should be no worries.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a big duel, and I think I'm gonna have to run with the power if they can just keep some of that form.
Yeah, cool.
Sydney, just can't match up against Port's best, but they're not to be taken lightly, the Swannies, especially at the SCG.
No, I wouldn't be taking them lightly. So much so that I'm tipping Sydney. So I just don't think Port can stand up against them, especially not at home. Sydney's home. Like, say what you will about Sydney, but they're not as low as Port. Even though Sydney are 10th on the ladder, Port's 11th, I still feel like their leagues apart. And I just think those leagues are too far apart for Port to get a W. So we'll see how it goes. All right, next game. Sunday night football at Marvel Stadium. It is Western Bulldogs versus St Kilda. the Rico Reeby clash, Mr. Reeby?
Oh, look, this game takes me back to 2000 and maybe 18, I think it was, when the
2000 and something.
Yeah, when there was the last game of footy I'd ever been to, actually. I still haven't been back to a game since. Or maybe one. Anyway, the Doggies beat us by 138 points on the night, and it was just demoralising. And I feel like the Saints are... No, I feel like the Saints are going to have that on the wall.
Okay, all right.
They're going to have it up there and be like, boys, remember that one? You know what I mean? Like, that's because Dan hasn't come back since that game. And,
they know you by name. Yeah. They know you by name.
You've beaten them since and everything. You beat them in a final since and all that. But, so I reckon this is the one. If they beat them in this one, I'll vow to go back to a game this year. And it might even be with you, Nathan.
Oh, well, we shall see about that.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, so, Steelo, who do you have?
Oh, far out. Is the Bont back this week?
Better not be.
Don't know. Might be.
Yeah.
You could tip one team and say, I'll change it to this if something changes. If the Bont comes back.
Yeah, because that's the case at this point. Oh, man. The Saints are playing pretty good footy, especially down in Melbourne. So, I'm going to have to put in the early tip for the Saints. But if the Bont's playing, it's going to be hard not to see the Doggies get up. They've been managing pretty well without him. But you can just tell that, Libba needs a bit more of a break. He needs someone else in there chopping him out, winning some hard balls.
No, absolutely. Well, look.
But, yeah, that's the case. I'll put in an early tip for the Saints just because they're playing Saints footy at the moment. Yep. They know their game well.
And if Bont comes in, you'll swap.
It's going to be a super close match again.
That's fair, though.
That's fair. That's a fair tip to put down.
Well, here we go.
Look, I think...
Western Bulldogs captain Marcus Bontempelli is on track to return for his clash against St Kilda. That is the headline I am seeing.
Yeah, so he hasn't returned. He's just on track, whatever that means.
Yeah, but that is concerning because it seems like he's on track.
I have to say the Doggies.
Yeah, he's on track, but he's not. It's nothing official. He's on track. He's not there yet.
To be honest, I'm a little bit more comfortable tipping the Dogs anyway. The spine's going pretty well at the moment.
Yeah.
Aaron Norton, Rory Lobb.
I could be on the train,
Libba's firing,
catching the train to Sandringham, and I can be like, I'm on track. I'm on track to Sandringham without actually being in Sandringham. So I want you to think about that, Daniel. Sorry, Steele, continue.
Wow. Well, after the way the Doggies played against the Lions on the weekend, they're showing what they're capable of. Let's see if they can do it for 4 quarters.
100%.
I still don't know which train you're on, Nathan.
Well, which train am I on?
Well, you're probably on the Sandy line.
Sandy line.
Huh. What does that mean? You're going for Doggies?
So, I'm on the friend train this week. Let's just put it that way.
That's it, bro. Go through Rip and Lee. You might get mugged.
And look, if you find out who I end up tipping during the week, just know, it's a friend ranking. There's number 1, number 2.
My train goes
Rick and Reeby. Who's on top? Who's second? We'll find out. We'll find out this weekend.
My train pulls in at beautiful stations like Patterson and Cannonook.
Well, you might be the team I'm going for. So we'll find out. All right, let's move on to the last game of the round, shall we? Easter Monday at the MCG, Geelong versus Hawthorn. Barn burner. What do you reckon, Reeves?
Is that a Hawthorn and a Geelong memento behind you there, Steelo?
Oh, well, yes, it is.
Oh, you're right, shit.
Your head's in front of it.
Over your shoulder.
Yeah, your head's in front of it.
Sorry, it's over there.
Geelong top, Hawks scarf, alright.
Wow.
Oof, I mean, geez, what a big one.
Getting down to this match.
Will I be getting down to this match?
Oh, I'm going to be getting down there for sure, mate. It's an absolute barn burner.
You know which game I will be getting down to on the weekend? Will be Frankston versus Richmond VFL to go and watch young Tommy McCarthy from the Footy Tips here on All for Footy. Give the young man a shout out who's potentially going to go pick number 1 in the mid-season draft. And doesn't that team look to be the West Coast Eagles? So, as much as he's super excited to move out of home from Sue's and Richard's house, which would be fun living at home with your folks, I'm sure the young man's excited to get over to the West and enjoy his time.
Wow.
So I'll go over to hang out with him for a weekend to go party with Harley Reid. So it's going to be wild times. But hopefully he remembers to keep putting his tips in. And good luck, Tommy. And hopefully you get a kick.
Yeah, cool. So that wasn't the question. The question was Geelong versus Hawthorn.
Well, someone mentioned big game, but that will be a big game. And also playing in that game will be Vossi Stars from the opposition playing for Frankston, while Tommy will be playing for Frankston on the night. So it's going to be a great night down there at Frankston on Friday night. But
I still don't know who he's tipped.
Well, that's where we were talking about a big game, and that just got me excited about that big games because this is going to be such a big game.
I just want to know.
But back to this big game. And just to give you a tip in that game, I'm going to tip Richmond by 16 points in the VFL game, just because we're talking about big games again. But I'm going to have to go Geelong. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, people were talking about this great Mighty Hawthorn thing, but I think maybe a few teams have just sorted them out a little bit or had a good look, worked out a little bit about how to slow them up, and I think Geelong will be all over them tactically, and I'm sure Geelong will have too much firepower for them the other way.
Yeah.
But Hawks are dangerous, and they step up in the big games, and they love the big moments and don't step away from them. So... they'll be backing themselves to the Hilton. But, yes.
No, fair enough. Steelo, who you got?
This is a tough round for tipping.
This is a tough round for
tipping. I'm going to be down there.
Is it a barn burner?
I'm just a fan of footy.
Might be. We'll have to wait until it's over.
Almost
get down to the MCG on a Sunday. It's going to be going crazy.
It's going to be a long line to go to this game.
I haven't been to the footy since they introduced the super long lines, except for old gather round, but down in Melbourne, obviously. I've heard about since they had that big danger scare that the lines are out to the station. I'm not looking forward to that part, but get there bright and early, make sure I get in, and get tucked in, mate. Look forward to an absolute ripper.
Yeah,
and I reckon,
and who you got?
Like Dan said, the Hawks are going to get up in a big match, though. Like, they like to rise to the occasion.
Okay.
I think the Hawks are going to get up and just sneak through by maybe one goal.
Okay, cool. I'm going Geelong.
Ooh.
That's how quick you can be, guys.
Tipping the favourite. How boring.
No, well, look, I tipped St Kilda. I tipped Sydney. I tipped some not favourites. I tipped North.
Sydney is the favourite.
No way. Well, whatever. I tipped a bunch of teams. Should be fine. Should be fine.
All favourites. So if you want to know if all the favourites win this week, just follow Nathan's tips, and you should be sure.
Don't be an idiot. We all know it's Ryan. Stop trying to run defense for Ryan. He's not even here, and you're defending. You're trying to deflect the accusation onto somebody else. He's the one that tips the favourites. He's the one that tips the favourites.
He's got my tent in his house. I'm hoping he doesn't sell it on eBay. So I'm trying to be nice to him.
That doesn't mean you bend over for him, mate. You bend over. You bend over for him, mate. You'll get your tent back. Don't worry. But in time,
if you could just not smoke in my tent, so there's no cigarette holes in there as well. That'd be handy.
I'm going to set your tent on fire. All right, I'm telling you that now. Because I'm going there in June. I'll set your tent on fire. But turning on me, as always. Anyway, let's move on to closing thoughts. Mr. Daniel Raby, what have you got for us?
I just was wondering about how many flights I should book to the Gold Coast in June. Sounds like we might need to buy a couple. We need to take a... No,
I need to set your tent on fire. Like you can't be there. I don't want you being in it. Like that's going too far. I can't do that.
Yes, we'll all be heading off to the Gold Coast because there is Melbourne versus Gold Coast in the middle of the year in June.
We're gonna get smashed.
Oh, it's going to be a great day. And so luckily we booked our tickets weeks ago because we thought, what a game to all go to. And so now we've booked our flights and we're all going. And Nathan's super excited about it. And can't wait to get up there for that game. And yeah, I'm hoping that it lives up to the billing for being the next game that I go to after seeing St Kilda lose by 138 points 5 years ago.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Steelo, closing thoughts.
Well, mate, just may the Easter Bilby be kind to you all.
Yeah, fair.
You know, support the Bilby.
Nah, fuck the Bilby. I hate the Bilby. Bilby can suck it.
Mate.
Wait, calm down, Bilby boy. All right?
Not the Bilby. Not the Bilbies.
No, I've got no ill will. I've got no beef with Bilbies. It's all good. It's all good. But no, nice, sweet little message. All right, well, WrestleMania this weekend, boys. Get pumped. Cena versus Rhodes. It's going to be good. Punk versus Rollins versus Reigns. Top of the card. Let's go. So, yeah. Pretty good Easter weekend. Viewing for
Talking
me.
about top of the card, how was Rory McIlroy? Hats off to the great man.
The tennis was
Finally.
Yeah, he's pretty good in the tennis. He's good with his forearm and stuff.
Oh, he's one of the best. I mean, on the clay court there, he's just getting it done again. And, he's one of the best competitors I've ever watched in his sport. So, hats off to the great man.
I don't know how you keep doing this. Sneaking in a second closing thought. Selfish. It's very selfish.
Too many thoughts. My mind just wanders.
Mind bottling. That's what it is. But yeah.
Next week.
All right. Well, that'll do it from us at All for Footy. And we're out.